Hello, Ray Phoenix here. Welcome to Let's Play Ratchet and Clank Free Up Your Arsenal Part 20. We're finally going into their base. We've made it to their base of operations. We're just going to go in there again and destroy their turret defense system, which is pretty much the same thing we've done on pretty much every plan we've been to up to this point in this game. And we're making great use of our Quack Array, my favorite weapon. This probably is my favorite weapon in the game. Is running through, going gangsta on them, and this is turning all of them into sitting ducks, literal sitting ducks. Yeah, I wonder if they're going to put a disclaimer at the end of this game that says no ducks were harmed in the making of this game. They do that same thing with the sheep in the previous game, and they did it in the Spyro games too with sheep. And there, we finally got our Nitro Eruptor 100% upgraded. It's one of the first weapons we got in the game, and we finally got it fully upgraded this late into the game. I'm just going to be blasting all the boxes open, getting some more ammo, and there's more Tyrannoids there. It's gonna blast them like it's gonna blast them as if they're nothing. It's like what Jedi do with battle droids. They just destroy them as like they're, like they're worthless kind of thing without giving a second thought. They just slash their lightsabers in there. That's what we're expected to do with Tyrannoids and pretty much every other enemy you'd ever see in any video game ever. And Ratchet and Clank is no exception to that. You can just use it to completely nuke that huge legion of Tyrannoids there. Now this is the part where we're going to be going against the turret defenses, which is no different than any turret defenses we've taken on before. This is actually easier now that we have the Annihilator mostly upgraded, where we send it shooting into a target and blows up into those small little spheres that detonate little detno bomb things, and we finally got our reward for eradicating Iridia. It's this thing, this teleporter thing. This is something we're going to be needing in the upcoming planet. This actually reminds me a lot of something I heard Santa Claus use. Remember Santa appeared on a local TV station of mine on Christmas Eve in 2007, and he mentions that he gets into kids' houses by using some sort of magical teleporter thing like that. And I thought, hey, that sounds exactly like that thing from Ratchet and Clank that they use for teleporting past certain barriers, certain, what do you call them, like force fields or ray shields or something like that. We're smarter than this. Yeah, just get a teleporter thing and we'll be able to get through anything. So Al's going to be analyzing the data disk we found on Zeldrin. He's going to be analyzing. It might be a way to cure Skid McMarks. And because he's now living in that habitat, that caged habitat, he's going to find there's some interesting data on that data disk. He's like, whoa, this is something I didn't know existed. I didn't think it was possible for anything like this to exist, but it does. What is it? Well, it's something we've kind of always known existed, but this game didn't want us to know it existed. It's Quark Comic Episode 5. There's a Quark Comic Episode 5? I thought his story ended with Episode 4, where he defeated Dr. Nefarious. Yeah, that's what he wanted you to think. He doesn't want you to know that this comic exists. He wants us to think Episode 4 is where it all ended. Episode 5 tells how it really ended. The true ending to the Captain Quark kintology. I guess you call it a kintology or a kinology, or whatever you call it. Series of 5. Yeah, the 5th installment. The one that no one talks about. The one no one knows existed. The one that was buried and probably kept in the Atlantic Gulf or somewhere like that. Along with all or the Sahara Desert, along with all the copies of E.T. no one is supposed to know about. Captain Quark Episode 5 begins right where Captain Quark Episode 4 left off, the most logical place, because pretty much all these Captain Quark stories always begin where the last one ended. And it has a different narrator this time around too, almost implying that it's not really it's a bootleg almost. And Captain Quark, this is the exact footage we saw at the end of the previous episode where Captain Quark puts the garbage can, he puts the lid on Nefarious. He doesn't know that Lawrence is behind him. Surf's up, baby. What'd you say? Smack. They get smacked. And that's the part we're going to notice that the art style is different. This Quark vid comic has a different art style and a different narrator too, making it seem like it's a bootleg. It's like someone made a bootleg. It's like a bootleg within its own source material. It's going to capture Captain Quark. Captain Quark kind of dreams about Courtney Gears. Oh, Quark, I like to get into your dreams all the time. Oh, yeah. I like to, and whoa! Yeah, they didn't give her a panty shot. They gave Captain Quark a panty shot earlier, but they didn't give Courtney Gears one earlier. Guess that makes perfect sense for this game's logic. And he's gonna find out he's really in a torture dungeon. This level's, well, he said redecorate the torture chamber, and this mission, this episode is called, it's called, I think, shaming of the queue, or something there, shaving of the queue, or something like that. Quark is going to use his antenna to, because there's a lot of shame in Captain Quark, and I'm pretty sure he doesn't shave a lot either, which is probably why he has some stubble, and so he's going to escape from that cage, and, oh yeah, it's just like the chemical plant zone from Sonic 2. Remember the chemical plant zone from Sonic 2? Where there's that grape juice or whatever it is that's slowly rising, and you're supposed to go through all the hazards and the obstacles and destroy all the enemies. And Captain Quark gets a frickin' rocket launcher. I guess he figured out it's the last episode in the series, so he might as well get the best weapon possible. And what's better than a rocket launcher? It has so many shots. One shot, one kill. One shot completely obliterates any enemy there is. I think in some of the earlier drafts of this game, Insomniac intended for there to be like a weapon select screen where you could like hold the triangle button, use different weapons Quark acquired throughout the series. But they never put that into this game, and I guess it's not really relevant. How many weapons does Captain Quark really need? He's not frickin' Ratchet. He's not constantly going against, like, large legions of enemies where having a gun with a certain amount of bullets would be beneficial. It's like, I bet this is even impossible, or mostly impossible, to get through this without taking a hit, considering how many obstacles and hazards there are everywhere. It's also very hard to get all the tokens here too, because it kind of breaks off to like a fork in the road. If you get killed, it doesn't remember the tokens you've collected. I know, this took several attempts for me to get through this. This is by far the hardest vid comic there is. But of course, it was still no match for me overall, and it was not even a match for my kid self back in 2007 when I played this for the first time ever. Oh yeah, I thought this was the coolest thing ever back in 2007. Playing this around Christmas time, getting the Christmas tree set up, and then me having my PS2 out and playing Ratchet and Clank 3, has this Quark vid comic and finding out the truth about Captain Quark and what he really did that made him, that made him the infamous character he is, and how his story of Dr. Nefarious truly ended, which resulted in Dr. Nefarious just downright becoming the greatest supervillain in the galaxy. And Captain Quark is nothing but a cheat. I thought I was going to tell a story about how he ended up on Florana and how he had to live in exile so he could hide from Dr. Nefarious. But of course, I didn't really know about the last two games. I played this one and really sunk my teeth into this one long before I played the first two Ratchet and Clanks. I didn't really know much about Captain Quark's history. I was quite surprised when I found out he was in Ratchet and Clank 2 and seeing the scandal he pulls off. But of course, that's going to be when I finally do Ratchet and Clank 2 Let's Play that game, which I definitely will Let's Play that one in the future. So Captain Quark is going to run and hide on, it's not Florana he's running off to his hideout. That's right, Quark has a hideout somewhere. I mean, what superhero doesn't have a hideout somewhere? Pretty much all the great superheroes have to have some kind of hideout somewhere in the galaxy, right? And he still likes to make himself look like a hero, so it's like, okay, so he's still pretending to be a hero, and no one knows the truth. That's why he buried this comic. He still has to be a celebrated hero. And he flies around that red ship I'm pretty sure he had in the original Ratchet and Clank, but I wouldn't know, I haven't played that in a while. And Lawrence is trying to fix Dr. Nefarious, because Lawrence must be an expert on robotics and engineering. He is a robot himself, pretty much. I guess it makes sense he would know a lot about how his own self is built. Well, he put his head on backwards, and whose butt is this? Now, I should have just let Chewbacca fix him up too. Chewbacca's really good at fixing up humanoid droids. And oh look, now he has that issue now where his antenna thing picks up random soap operas, the audio from random soap operas that are playing somewhere. I guess Captain Quark is responsible for why Dr. Nefarious has a satellite dish inside of his mind that makes him pick up soap operas now. That's another thing Captain Quark is responsible for. He's responsible for so much in this galaxy. Now they're gonna realize that because of some protopet incident thing and getting kind of stuff Captain Quark's done in the past, it makes sense he'd have a hideout, so he must go to his hideout and find the great Captain Quark, which is probably where he is, and tell him that he's being such a lazy fool, and that he needs to go back and defeat Dr. Nefarious because the galaxy is in crisis. There's a crisis going on in the galaxy right now, and Captain Quark's one of the few people who can solve it. But we know he's going to be useless. Ratchet and Clank have always been able to solve the crises of the galaxies, with the Solana and Bogon galaxies mostly. Yeah, he said protobetto. There, said the protobetto. That'll be written with katakana text, as it's a foreign word or a non-Japanese word. I highly doubt they have a kanji or hiragana for protobetto. Which was also, I remember there was another game I played called Rough Trigger. It was a rip-off of Ratchet and Clank. It had a story that was pretty much a complete total rip-off of the story to Ratchet and Clank 2 Going Commando. And it wasn't even that great of a game, and even had lives too. Like, these games don't usually have lives anymore. Like, imagine if Ratchet and Clank had lives where you get killed so many times and it's game over! Insert another coin. Oh, wait, you can't insert another coin because it's a PS2 game, not an arcade game. Quark's Hideout. I guess that's what that would be saying. We're on Quark's Hideout. I never got past this planet when I was a kid. Some Cognito's just going to tell us that, oh, if you go all the way to Aquados now, you can find the new weapons that are available. New weapons. Well, they're not really new weapons. There's weapons that you were able to unlock in the second game, Ratchet and Clank Going Commando, and they're now available for purchase at his vendor. So go to his vendor on Aquados right now and buy the new weapons available. Yeah, like we're really going to fly all the way back to Aquados when we already flew to Quark's Hideout. And we're gonna be, oh yeah, this is like a hidden, like a secret hidden area. We're gonna be doing more Crash Bandicoot-like platforming. Really making good use of our magnet boots, our magnetic boots. We can jump through here and jump through these things. Yep, this is just like Crash Bandicoot game. There's no denying that at this point. We walk through this crystal fortress of solitude. Almost looks like the Crystal Glacier level from Spyro 2 a bit. Maybe this isn't one of those crystal glaciers from that level. And oh look, battle gnomes, like those gnomes from Dexter's Laboratory, or Wallace and Gromit Vengeance Most Foul. We could just turn these things easily into ducks, and look at that, we got our first upgrade for this weapon, the Quacko Ray. I'm really going to try to get this weapon fully upgraded. It pretty much is my favorite weapon in the game. I always used to wish I could have something like this when I was a kid. Yeah, just turn all the bad people into ducks. Into ducks. No, ducks don't even really attack. Well, they will attack later when we get more upgrades. Oh look, it's a robot that looks like Captain Quark. Yeah, I would suggest using the Quacko. It doesn't really work well against high-powered enemies like this. So I was going to use a weapon that's more suitable for this. Of course it's going to be the Annihilator. One shot, one kill, mostly because of those deadly spears. I can waste them. Go ahead, I'll waste ya. There we go, we wasted that Quark guy. That Quark man guy thingy. Now it goes to run for these traps of laser lights. Which aren't really that easy. Which, I mean, they're not that hard to evade. We just run through them, sidestep through them, and there goes a laser defense system again. What's with this game and defense systems? Defense systems seem to be everywhere in this game. I never realized how repetitive this game was. Well, if you're going to make something repetitive, you might as well make it good, and I guess that's what this game did. Almost no one ever bashes this game. I always loved this game. I mean, I knew a few people didn't like it, but I always loved this game. This is one of the greatest games ever. It's games like these that make the Xbox jealous. The Xbox never had anything like Ratchet and Clank on it. Instead, it had that cat named Blinks on it, Blinks the Time Sweeper. Yeah, Blinks wishes he could have been like Ratchet and Clank. Well, you know, Xbox had Halo as well, too. Or as a Chad Warden called it, Gaylo. Because Xbox don't got games. PS2 does. So this is the thing you can buy. It's called the PDA, where it's like a personal portable device where it lets you buy ammo for weapons while you're out and about that costs a lot more. You also see Quark's crotchetizer was there, as well as some of the other gadgets that he tried selling in the second game. Ray Phoenix, signing out.